Hi, it's Guy Arnold, author of Sales Through Service, Great or Poor and Go the Extra Inch, and Franklin Covey consultant, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The Third Alternative, Speed of Trust, all that sort of stuff. Now, the purpose of this video is to talk about what can you do in your organisation when you are dealing with systems or processes or even people that are almost impossible to deal with. So we had a session today with a customer about outstanding customer experience, net promoter score, how to use it to grow the business. And one of the questions was, well, that's great, I really get it, I'm all up for that. However, there are other processes in our business, there are internal issues that are stopping us getting the results we want. You know, we have internal telephone problems and system problems and blah, 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 blah. And the answer to this is always the same, okay? You've got to suggest really follow the 7 habits on this. Number 1, be proactive. Always believe there's something you can do about it. There is never nothing you can do about it. So that's my first response. Always believe you can do about it. Find out what you can do about it. If you say, well, there's nothing we can do about it, you'll be right. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So never ever say that. Always say, what could I do about this? Okay? Great example of this was Gandhi, when he was faced with the British Empire, who controlled the entire salt trade in India, which of course meant he controlled the entire food supply in India. And he thought, well, what can I do about this? Can I change this overnight? Of course not. Could I do one thing today? Yes, I can. So what did he do? He started to walk to the sea in order to make salt. And this is one of the huge catalysts that created this massive change in India. So always ask yourself, first lesson is, always ask yourself, what could I do about this? Another great person is Rebecca Hoskins, who had a nervous breakdown about sea creatures dying of plastic bags in their innards and everything else like that. She was an underwater photographer. So she thought, well, what can I do about this? Oh, I know what I can do. I can start doing picture shows in my local village hall. And that's exactly what she did. And the outcome of that was massive change and massive reduced use of plastic bags. Stephen Covey puts this in a very good way. He says, in life there are two things. There's all sorts of things called a circle of concern. Okay, this is stuff that you're concerned about. Okay? So, good example, something inside my business I can't change. I'm concerned about it, it's affecting me, okay? But within that circle of concern there's a smaller circle which is called the circle of influence. Now, the answer to the question is that truly effective people focus exclusively on the things they can influence, okay? And they don't worry about the other things they can't influence. And magically, of course, if you focus on the things you can influence, the number of things that you can influence grows. Okay, so focus on what you can influence, and what you can influence will grow. Fantastic, fantastic lesson for life. Applies to absolutely everything. Okay, so in this scenario, focus on the things you can do. Very often in this sort of situation, I advise people, if you don't know, if you have no idea what to do, a great thing to do would be to gather data. Okay? Gather data. Okay, why is data important? Okay, why are facts important? Because you say, well, I can't get through to our telephone service, or I find our accounts department really difficult to deal with. Well, that's just a moan. That's just you whinging and trying to make excuses for not being able to perform. However, if you said, well, I've spent 3 hours and 17 minutes hanging on the phone over the past month, which has cost our business £2,000, and the accounts department has delayed this and created that and lost me this information, this business has just lost us £4,275. That's data, that's facts. You cannot argue with facts. So the most important thing, if you don't know what to do, gather data. That's a fantastic thing you can always do in your circle of influence. Okay? And by doing that, you start now dealing with facts and dealing with and being able to have constructive conversations with people. So that's habit 1, be proactive. Habit 2, begin with the end in mind. What is the end in mind here? The end in mind is for your whole business to prosper and grow. You know, what are these other people in your business doing? Are they trying to make your life difficult? Of course not. Are they trying to do a good job? Of course they are. So what is it what is getting in their way? What's the end in mind for them? So you cannot understand, you cannot get your end in mind until you understand their end in mind. Remember, this is not just about you, this is about your whole organisation and working together with your whole team to achieve an outcome for the whole organisation that is better for everybody. Habit 3, put first things first. Well, first thing you're going to do is probably gather data. There may be other things you're going to do. You may have a meeting with them. You may raise some concerns. What about inviting them out on the road? What about sharing the problem with your colleagues? What about looking at other organisations who get this really right? What do they do? Do some research, take some action, do something. Okay, so first things first. Habit 4, think win-win. Okay, so use a win-win agreement. See my other videos about win-win agreements. Have a meeting with these people and use win-win agreements. Okay, now if you can't get a response to it, that's fine. Go no deal. Okay, I understand you can't change this. I understand you're trying your best. I understand there are all these barriers in the way. I understand all of that, but I'm still not happy. So this is what I'm going to do, and let's keep talking. Let's meet again next month and see if anything's changed. You never give up. You never do nothing, and you always go win-win or no deal. Win-win is where you work together to get a solution. Fantastic. Look at my videos on win-win. No deal is where you can't get a solution, but you refuse to fall out with them. Okay? We can't find a solution, but we will not fall out with each other. I'm not going to go around saying the accounts department are a load of prats, or, you know, bloody telephone system. These people don't understand what it's like out on the road. All this sort of stuff. All that's going to do is disempower you and make you look like an idiot. Okay, so you don't do any of that, you go no deal. Right, okay, we can't solve this problem at the moment. Let's agree to disagree agreeably, let's keep talking, let's keep working at it until we can find something we can do. You never ever stop. And magically when you take that sort of attitude, the doors open and things change, and as the Buddhists would say it, when the pupil is ready, the teacher appears. You will find solutions all over the place when you're looking for them. And when you're not looking for them, when you say there's nothing I can do about it, there'll be no solutions. They'll never appear because you're not looking for them. Your reticular activating system, your filter in your brain will be turned off and you will not see them. So think win-win. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. You can't solve a problem until you understand what the problem looks like from their point of view. Do not charge in and say, I need you to do this for me. When you don't do this, this doesn't happen, and you're an idiot, and you've got it wrong, and you've got to change. What's that going to do? It's just going to piss them off. Okay, and now you've got yourself an enemy there. That's no good. You spend first time understanding it from their point of view. Look, looks like we could do this better. It's something that's a problem to the business. Just tell me how it is from your point of view. What are your issues? What are your problems? What are your pressures? What are your processes? What sort of things do you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis? Let's talk about it. Let's listen to you. Listen to your issues with the intent of finding a way forward that we're both happy with. Okay, so use that win-win agreement. Okay, then be understood. When you feel that they've understood you, when you feel that they value you, when you feel that you have listened to them, and you've listened to them with proper intent and empathy, you've listened with them, you've understood them from their point of view, until you can repeat it back to them in your words, and they go, yes, Guy, that's exactly right, that's exactly what I mean. Until you've got there, then you will not be understood yourself. So wait until you get that response, and if you don't get it in the first meeting, that's fine, get it in the second meeting. If you don't get a second meeting, that's fine, get it in the third meeting, it's fine. Wait until you get that response, until they say, yes, now Guy, that's fantastic, yes, okay, what do you think? What are your issues? What problems are you experiencing on a day-to-day basis? Okay, and that's when you know you can be understood. And then the fruit of that, the outcome of that is synergy, habit 6. Once you've got there, when you've done all those things, you will get synergy, you will work together, it will happen. It is absolutely like magic, okay? It does work without question in every situation. For example, I've been in a situation where I was dealing with a manager in a business who was on a written warning. We had a win-win agreement with her boss, and she got promoted. That's how powerful it is. So it's critically good. It really, really works. If you want training or coaching on it, you know where to come. And lastly, remember habit 7, sharpen the saw. You know, build that relationship before you need to. Keep yourself sharp. Keep yourself sharp in all of your knowledge of the business, in your support of them. Build the relationship. Get them out on the road with you. Go and visit them in their office. Do everything you can to be sharp and to be seen as the person who is really trying to get it right. So sharpen the saw is the key to making everything else work. Without a sharp saw, you're going to spend a lot of time sawing that tree down. So sharpen the saw. So there you have it, how to deal with internal problems that you don't know how to deal with. Okay? The answer is be okay with not knowing how to deal with it. Take all the right actions. Follow the principles. Use the 7 habits and go for win-win using win-win agreements. Very good luck. Please do contact me if you need any advice, either paid or free. Thank you.